RuneScape is accused of catering to conservatives. What? The paying customer? The people who actually purchase video games? Oh, what a terrible thing! What an absurd notion for a video game! What an absurd notion indeed, but one that is becoming increasingly more common these days as, well, we have gained the powers of the wokeists. Back in the day, developers would make concessions to progressive parties because they feared being cancelled. They feared backlash from sites like Pink News, from the woke mob that could ruin a game's PR. No more. Now they fear us. And I could not be happier about it. So, let's read this here. RuneScape developer accused of catering to American conservatives by rolling back Pride Month events. Oh goody good. An anonymous employee has accused RuneScape and old-school RuneScape developer Jagex of catering to American conservatives by rolling back its annual in-game Pride Month events. RuneScape is a long-running fantasy massive multiplayer online role-playing game, have become important to LGBTQ+ gamers for several reasons. From its earliest days, RuneScape open-ended gameplay made it a refuge for In addition, RuneScape has clans community groups that form long-term friendships. Many queer players have found these to be deeply supportive safe spaces. Guilds. The gays discovered guilds. Also, Jagex has for many years run Pride Month events, charity drives for LGBTQ causes, and shared public support for diversity, all of which resonated with LGBTQ players. Now that is the actual reason. Look, we fly your flag, we give you money, we're on your side, please, there's gotta be enough of you out there to support us. No. As it turns out, no. That's why they're now pivoting to the people who might actually pay for their game. Although considering screenshots like these, I might be a little bit late on that one. However, Pink News has been shown evidence that reveals deep-seated internal conflict and division between the company's management and many of its staff around this year's Pride Month content. On Friday, April the 25th, shortly after new CEO John Bellamy was installed, Bellamy posted a message on the company's internal message board stating that RuneScape and old RuneScape would not be running any 2025 Pride Month content, so the developers could instead focus more on what players wanted. Imagine that. Instead of colourful penises in your game, you might have gameplay, quests, writing, weird things like that, not particularly interesting to the LGBTQIA blah. Many members of staff pushed back against this, stating the work around the annual Pride events was either already complete or straightforward to implement in-game. See, this is, oh, we don't have time, and the employers go, yes we do, no, but it's done. I don't care. Staff members volunteered to finish the Pride event content in their own time. Others asked why there couldn't simply be an in-game Pride parade, which would not have entitled development time. They would have to wait until the following Tuesday for a reply from management, which was, no, you tards. The problem is your shit. It's not that we don't have it. We've had years of this costing us sales. We know we've got it, we just don't want it. Every year in June, many major US and UK brands arrange for Pride Month merchandise, but not this year, and RuneScape used to be one of those companies. That's just nonsense mostly. In a follow-up Q&A session convened to address staff concerns, the CEO, accompanied by the Chief People and Culture Officer, there's your problem right there, fire this person yesterday, made it clear that the decision to roll back Pride content was related to the current political climate. You don't say. And that the choice to discontinue Pride Month event was to avoid backlash. It is good to be feared. A video of the Q&A opens with John Bellamy stating, "Friday's communication very clearly caused distress. I want to be clear, the decision for this is with me. I own it, I'm fully responsible for it. I published Friday's announcement with speed in mind, and this weekend's message in question made that clear." He continued, "I understand that RuneScape is precious because it is a safe space. I know we've bowed to this political pressure for years and years, but it's time to earn money. It is an escape from reality, and the reality that we find ourselves in is changing." Is it an escape from reality, though, if you need to constantly bring reality back into it? But, oh well, details. The essence of leftism is to hold two contradictory positions at once, so we won't get into that, I guess. It's getting stranger, more troubling, less moral. I would argue games and studios are being cancelled because of content that's perceived to be woke. Not perceived. Correctly identified. Or representative. The pendulum is swinging back in a way we didn't expect. Yes. I know you didn't expect this. I know you expected to be in power forever. I know you expected to be able to continue to abuse anyone that wasn't you eternally, but it turns out that's just not how this fucking works. God, the sheer short-sightedness of these fucking ideologues. Bellamy said that given that climate, the safe havens within RuneScape and ORS Art are more needed than ever before, and therefore he has to ensure the business is protected against those that would wish us harm. This is a difficult balance that Friday's decision was trying to find. The way that it communicated it missing the mark. Listen, you bunch of ideologically possessed fuckwits. We've gotta earn money. And, okay, we will just have to erase you, okay? I don't care about you, you didn't get me any sales, F off. He confirmed that the old-scale Pride mini-quest is being discontinued for 2025, and the Tales of Pride event will return to RuneScape, but without newly developed content, stating the content is now controversial in a way it didn't used to be, and that controversy now brings more risk than did previously, risk that I'm personally responsible to protect against. We are all aware of the difficult political climate in gaming and the wider world. An open letter to management dated the 15th of May and written by staff, DI groups within Jagex. There's your second problem, fire these people next. Begins with, "Dear Jagex executive team, we are writing to ask you to restore the development of the new Pride content for 2025, and to make a commitment that Pride will continue to be an annual seasonal event in both Old School and RuneScape." It continues, "We are all aware of the difficult political climate in gaming in the wider world. We understand that openly presenting ourselves as a diverse and inclusive company could be seen as a risk. As an actively racist company, yes. However, as outlined below, the date from previous Pride events, as well as the pronoun changes in Old School, clearly shows that despite the vocal minority engaging in bigoted behavior online, this did not translate to a loss of revenue." Bullshit. The letter's authors went on to state, "We are writing to you because we believe in Jagex, we believe in our players, and we believe that not giving in to hate is the right decision for the business in the long term." Well, the problem is you've already given in to hate, and that's what's cancelled out so many of your players and make it impossible for you to grow. The Jagex executive team responded to the open letter in an email on the 22nd of May. The response, according to an anonymous employee, altered the previous stance to allow the inclusion of pre-programmed Pride content that was on a timer, explaining what they suggested before would have required more development time to remove their recurring annual content. In that email, Jagex management also told staff, as a studio, we must stay grounded in the mission we all share, and that's making great games for our players. Products. Our job is not to use the game as an outlet for our own views, which is exactly what they want them to do, of course, but to craft worlds that serve our players, offering immersion, escape, and meaning. And then a final little, "We're totally still on your side. We're just not going to continue to reiterate it." Now, this may simply be them also going, "Hey, we're still going to do this, but we're going to scale it down in the hopes of not getting cancelled. We're going to try and sneak it in." But I, for one, believe that this is simply yet another one in a long line of companies going, "Hey, this doesn't work. It doesn't earn money. We can't survive like this, and so it's going to have to end." As the key takeaway is simple. They now fear us a lot more than the wokeists. And that is something we should continue to use. Until next time, I've been Arch. Thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon. Till then, have a good day.